My name is Alfonso Severos, and this is the Peripheral View. The Peripheral View is my weekly video series addressing those issues on the edge of the news. I like to start this little video off with a poem that I wrote 2 days ago, January 16th, 2021, about the change in the administration. And I wrote it Saturday morning. Thus, I named the poem Saturday Morning. 3 days before the changing of the winds and the new breezes comes with the comfort of normality, the predictable, the unexpected, the difficult, the painful, leaving the absurd, the psychotic, the narcissistic winds of the delusional. The poem talks about the change in administration. The narcissistic, psychotic, delusional leaves us, and normal, difficult, predictable is what to be expected. As we know, the election is come and gone. Biden and Harris will take office as president and vice president. And we also saw the insurrection, the storming of the Capitol by Trump supporters. And that's what I want to talk about. I think people need clarification when we say Trump supporters. All of those people had one thing in common. They were for Donald Trump, which means they felt the election was stolen. However, there are different groups. Understand. When we look at the two groups you hear a lot about, the Proud Boys and Antifa, these are two opposite groups. The Proud Boys is an organization, males only, far-right conservative, extremists, use of violence, conservative right-wing Christian views. That's the Proud Boys. Also white supremacists, racists. But it's an organization. Antifa is a movement like Black Lives Matter, based on left-wing politics, extreme left-wing perspective, anti-fascism and anti-racism. And if you recall recently on the West Coast, Seattle and Portland, we had those conflicts in the streets that was between Proud Boys and Antifa. And we also seen this conflict in Washington as the Capitol were being invaded. Antifa and the Proud Boys had skirmishes among themselves. So those are two different groups with two different perspectives. Then you have the militias. And the militias are really built around the issue of the Second Amendment, the right to bear and carry arms. The militia, for a large part, has a lot of ex-military police officers. Now, these folks probably will not participate in any demonstrations on inauguration day because they don't want to bring attention to themselves. Many of them, as being ex-military, they know the power of the federal government, the power of American intelligence, and they do not want them to be a marked group in which the feds go after. So they're more concerned with Second Amendment rights. Of course, they support Donald Trump to a large extent, but you don't have to worry about them trying to create a revolution. That's not going to happen with them. And then you had the majority of folks who were Donald Trump supporters. And these go from very mild, moderate supporters to very extreme supporters. And it was this group that did most of the damage. All right? And a small percentage of this group were your extremists. And they were the ones, if any, did the plotting and the planning on the insurrection and the attack on the Capitol. So you have the Proud Boys on one end, far right politics. You have Antifa on the other end, far left policies. And in fact, Antifa has been, as a movement, it's like a movement like Black Lives Matter, and have demonstrated with Black Lives Matter, and has fought against the Proud Boys. So when we look at this mixture of perspectives and viewpoints and philosophies, it was one big mob with different positions. And I think that's important to know. The difference between Proud Boys, Antifa, militia, and the general category of Donald Trump supporters. I hope this is useful in understanding, to some degree, the far right, far left, and some of the conflicts that has happened and probably will happen. Thanks for watching.